I realized I haven't posted anything on this YouTube channel in 3 years. Um, it's going on 4 years since my car accident. The 24th, it'll be 4 years. I walk all right. I still have the hardware in my ankle. I still have the hardware in my knee. Those will never be removed due to I had pulverized the bones in both. Since then, since my car accident, I have had a lot happen. Let's see. I lost 2 of my dogs. My Mantle Dane, I just lost a couple months ago. He was 9.5 years old, and his health started failing due to age. The vet even said that, it was time. 9.5 is a long time for Danes. My Great Dane, Murphy, I lost at 5 years old due to cancer. That was last year. I've lost my 2 senior cats due to old age. One was 21, one was 20. It's just been bam, bam, bam. I've had several surgeries. I had the stuff with my leg. I don't remember if my colectomy was before or after that, but I've had a colectomy. I've had 10 centimeters of my colon removed due to diverticulosis. And when that happened, when I had that done, I've had diverticulosis since I was 35. Basically, the gastroenterologist at that time said I was 35 years too young to have it. So we'll tell that to my body. Nothing I can do about it. I figure I went till I was like 49 without any flare-ups, and then I was just bam, 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 one right after another. At the same time, I kept having reoccurring UTIs. And the doctors, I think, pretty much chalked it up to diabetes. Wasn't the case. I had a scheduled colectomy after the third infection. It was scheduled for like November 4th of 21. I had just been into the surgeon's office, and he said, if you have a flare-up between now and then, it's going to end up being an emergency surgery, blah, blah, blah. That Friday, I went into the ER. And just so happened that he was off. So the on-call surgeon that was on call for him was a visiting oncologist surgeon out of Flint. And amazing man. He was amazing. So they admitted me, and he did the surgery the next day. And I'm really glad that I had him, because I actually wound up not having to have a colostomy bag. He was able to piece me back together just fine. At the same time, I was told, he told my daughter while I was in recovery, that when I had my hysterectomy years ago, when you have a hysterectomy and like your gallbladder or your appendix removed or whatever, your intestines, like your organs shift and they fill up that space. Well, in the case of a hysterectomy, your intestines drop down lower. They fill up that space. Well, apparently when mine shifted, one of the diverticuli pockets adhered to the vaginal cuff and caused a microscopic fistula, a very small tunnel, which was causing microscopic fecal matter to go into the vagina, and from there it was able to move like into like the urethra area, whatnot. I was probably, but from what he told my daughter, I was probably a few days away from being septic and dying. This is after over a year of reoccurring UTIs. I probably had a UTI every other month leading up to this. And they just chalked it up to me being diabetic. Then, in the process of that healing, I developed a seroma pocket. The other way to describe that, it's not infection, it's basically it's your body trying to protect itself, and it develops like almost like a blister type material. I referred to it as chicken juice because that's what it looks like, and the texture, it's like sticky. You know, chicken juice is, if you get it on your hands, it's gross. And the surgeon that I was seeing was laughing at me because he says chicken juice. And I told him, yeah, I'm leaking chicken juice out of the side over here. So he kind of blew me off a little bit. And then the very night I called him like a couple days later. I said, no, it's getting to be quite a bit. It's leaking a lot. So I went in there and he put me into the procedure room, and he opened that incision back up, and it just poured out. He goes, oh, that is a lot. I mean, it was splashed onto the ground. So from there I went into the care of a wound care clinic, which was right next to his office. And I had to have a wound vac because the outside was healing, but it wasn't healing inside. So wound vacs use negative pressure to heal. So I had to carry that around for a while. And then he kept making comments, you're going to have a divot in your side, I'm sorry. And he kept focusing on that. Finally, I looked at him one day, I said, good Lord, get over it. I did. Nobody's seen it but me, my kids, and the dogs. Who cares? As long as it heals, that's all I care about. So that was in 2021. And on top of that, dealing with diabetes, changing medications, nothing's really working. I changed my diet, but my sugar, it wasn't affecting my sugar at all. Blah, blah, blah. So then, last year, I was put on Mounjaro, dropped 25 pounds, kind of staying at that level. But now I've changed insurance again, so now that's got to change over to Ozempic because my insurance won't cover Mounjaro. Having a hell of a time getting hold of that because of all the people that are taking it just to lose weight. I am insulin resistant, so I gotta have that. I've had 2 cervical fusions since then. First one, they went in anterior, and they fused with clips C3, C4, C4, C5. And when they went in, she had to do a CT to find out where my carotid arteries are because they're not in the normal position. Mine go up, and they meet, and then veer off. Everybody's else go up and then just gradually go off. Mine come up and join right next to each other and then sharp over. I had a big bone spur right here, that was shoving my esophagus to the side. Which explains why I was choking on food a lot. Had been for years. Our mother went through the same thing, and I think that's what she had going on. We chalked it up to her MS. Now I think she had the same thing. While healing from that surgery, my body decided, because it's supposed to grow bone where they fuse it, my body decided, hold my beer, I'm going to grow extra bone. So from there, I grew bone growths on the foramen, on the left side, and a large one on the interior of C4 that was cutting off my spinal cord. Now, on the first surgery, I was able to pick my timeline to have it done. And I didn't want to have it done during summer because, spending time with the grandkids and stuff. I didn't have a choice on this one. She didn't even say, you have a timeline. She's like, this is when we're doing it. So, she had to cut off the foramen, completely take them off, because they were cutting off the nerve roots. And then so I am now fused from C3 to C6, I believe, with decompression at C4. I now have more bone growth because it's got to grow bone from the fusion. So now my body overwent again. And I have, it's hard to see, but if you're looking at it, this is the top. There's a bone growth right there. There's one there and one above it. And now I think it's pushing the esophagus the other way. And it hurts. When I move a certain way, it hurts. So I'm not sure what's going to go on with that just yet. But I also started physical therapy for the posterior fusion, which is from the base of the rounded part of my skull down to almost to the middle of my shoulder blades. And I can feel every one of my vertebrae in there. While healing from that surgery, I broke my back. I snapped off the spinal process of T3. Scooping kitty litter. Wasn't a fall, nothing like that. Scooping kitty litter. Still not sure how I managed that one. Surgeon's like, you didn't fall or nothing? I'm like, no, scooping kitty litter. I had went to her for a checkup. That morning is when I had done it, and I'd felt the pop, but I thought it was just my back cracking like it's done before. But as the day wore on, I had a hard time lifting my arms and moving my hands forward. It hurt immensely. And then my daughter took me to my appointment with her, and I come back home. Took my daughter home, and I come home. And by the time I got here, I just sat here and cried. Just bawled. Just cried. I couldn't move either of my arms without it just absolutely killing me. I'm sitting here, I got my neck brace on, and I'm just losing it. So now something's seriously wrong. So I got up and I went up to the ER. They did a CT. They were really concerned because here I come in with a neck brace and everything, and I'm just bawling. And they come out and said, you have a fracture of the T3 spinal process. Interior. I'm like, what? And I had already taken medication here for pain, and I was driving, so they couldn't really give me a whole lot for pain. They gave me Toradol, which took the edge off for about 10 minutes. That's it. So, basically the surgeon was like, well, it's just got to heal. You're going to be in pain for a while. Well, the next x-ray she did, to make sure the fusion was still where it was supposed to be and hadn't shifted, you can see the vertebrae. And it wasn't fractured. I snapped it right off. She said that it'll take about a year to heal. And it's going to bother me here and there because that piece is just floating around in there. Aggravating, irritating. That was done. Let's see, my surgery was July 27th, I think. It was about 2 or 3 weeks after the surgery that I did that. And I still have a very hard time with pain on certain days. So, I don't know. And yes, my voice is hoarse. Because that cotton mouth. I just took a muscle relaxer and painkiller, so it tends to give me cotton mouth. Let's see what else. Oh, I had extropion surgery. This eye, I'm blind in it. Okay? Optic neuritis, or optic nerve hypoplasia. I've had it since I was born. And as I've gotten older and had to start wearing glasses, my eye goes off, and it was going off a lot, causing a lot of double vision. Because it can see lights and shadows. And that's why, because it focuses on the frame. So she pulled it back over. Found a weak spot in my actual eyeball. So if you look, that right there, that pink, that's the muscle to my eye. She pulled it over and covered the weak spot and sewed it in there. I said, so you're trying to tell me that my eye just at any given time could have went and popped? She goes, I don't know. She goes, I've never seen it. I'm like, awesome. And this is an eye specialist out of U of M. And she's never seen anything like it. Like I have explained to several people, that if it's weird and unheard of, I'll do it. Due to balance issues and everything else, I'm going to be tested for MS. Our mother had it. She had relapsing remitting. On our dad's side, our aunt has it. My niece has it. And she was in her 20s when she was diagnosed. So, due to some neuropathy that isn't normal and isn't necessarily related to diabetes or my neck, I gotta have an MRI to check for MS. I am 51, soon to be 52. Our mom was diagnosed at 46. And I think our Aunt Fran was diagnosed right about my age. So, we shall see. But yeah, it's been tons of fun in 4 years. I worked part-time at the hotel that I used to work at before my second cervical fusion. And I tried to go back too soon. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even hold my head up. I still have a hard time with that sometimes. I do a lot of sitting here in this chair like this, holding my head up. Which that's what physical therapy's for, is to strengthen it. So, I mean, but it's causing more issues, more nerve issues, more. When I had my first cervical fusion, it was because I was going numb all the way up to my temple. After the first surgery, that stopped. Within a week of physical therapy, it's back and worse. Now, it is both sides doing it. Mainly when I'm looking down or to the right. So we're doing a CT scan on the 23rd to check for vascular issues. So I don't know. And my car's being a dick. It has dropped to exhaust 4 times now. So this weekend, a friend of ours is going to pull it all off and put a straight pipe. The hangers that hold it up rusted off the body. So, not much you can do there. The exhaust itself is fine. Catalytic converter, the exhaust pipe, the muffler. Just the hangers that hold it up. In every way that we've rigged it, it keeps coming down because our roads are terrible. So, that's going to be put straight pipe with elbows put in. And aftermarket hangers put on. Yep, it's been a blast the last 4 years. Although I do have 2 new grandbabies. I have a 10-year-old grandson, a 7-year-old grandson. Both due to age up here real quick. A 2.5-year-old grandson, and then my daughter. Those are by my oldest daughter, and then my son and his fiance had a little girl. She's a year old. Those are the only good things that have really come of it. I have plenty of time to be with the kids. Anyway, that's what's going on. It's tons of fun.